We are talking F1 engines for the 2026 season. We're going to go through them, and the battle is very much, well, not only begun, it's continuing into 2026. Who is going to have the best engine?
Ferrari has been hit by one of the most explosive leaks in modern Formula One history. And what's reportedly hidden inside their 2026 simulator data is sending shockwaves through Maranello and the entire paddock. Confidential numbers tied to Ferrari's next-generation power unit and aero concept have surfaced, and insiders claim the results are not just impressive, but genuinely shocking. We're talking unprecedented electric deployment, insane torque surges, acceleration figures that contradict Red Bull's world-leading simulations, and a chassis concept so aggressive that some engineers think Ferrari is either bluffing or planning something nobody else dared attempt. Charles Leclerc suddenly sounds excited. Carlos Sainz suddenly avoids questions. Red Bull engineers suddenly look uncomfortable. It all lines up. Something big is happening at Ferrari. And if these early numbers are real, the 2026 regulations, thought to be a clean reset that would favor Red Bull or Audi, may actually be setting the stage for a Ferrari resurgence so fierce that the rest of the grid won't be ready.
May the engine wars begin. So first of all, we're going to look at what every team is going to have for their 2026 engine. There's going to be 5 of them.
Let's break down every piece of this scandal. The story begins with a single file, a confidential simulator report never meant to leave Ferrari's development servers. According to multiple paddock insiders, this document included the earliest full system simulations of Ferrari's 2026 concept car, combining both power unit performance and aerodynamic behavior. Somehow, this file slipped into the hands of 2 journalists and 1 notorious insider, sparking the most intense internal panic Ferrari has experienced since the 2019 fuel flow investigation. Ferrari treats simulator data like nuclear codes. Only a handful of engineers are permitted access, and even fewer are allowed to export or view the raw numbers. That's what made this leak so catastrophic. The moment team officials realized sensitive files had been accessed, they immediately initiated an internal audit. Access badges were locked, terminals were monitored, and several employees were reportedly questioned. Corporate cybersecurity was involved, and the rapid escalation shocked even long-term employees. Ferrari does not react like this unless the leak is real and damaging. The leaked simulator report allegedly detailed Ferrari's PUX hybrid concept, running full simulations under 2026 FIA regulations. These simulations don't predict exact lap times, but they reveal acceleration behavior, energy deployment capacity, potential aero resistance, and engine chassis synchronization. What stunned everyone was how aggressively the car performed at this early stage. These weren't optimistic projections. They were raw, unpolished numbers, the kind you expect to look slow, messy, and years away from refinement. But instead, Ferrari's data showed characteristics usually seen in the final year of development, not the beginning. Engineers reviewing the leak described the car as having explosive acceleration, with electrical deployment curves that spiked far beyond what Ferrari had managed in the last decade. The internal notes reportedly highlighted traction issues because of how hard the car pulled during hybrid engagement, something Ferrari has not struggled with since the V8 era. The leak's authenticity gained traction when Leclerc's cryptic comments resurfaced. Just weeks earlier, he hinted at exciting things happening during development. Fans at the time dismissed it as standard PR talk, but now those words feel like a genuine slip. Combine that with Sainz's sudden refusal to answer questions about Ferrari's future direction, and the story takes an even stranger turn. Inside the paddock, rival teams immediately took notice. Red Bull's engine division reportedly requested an updated analysis of their own 2026 projections. Mercedes engineers privately circulated the leak to understand what Ferrari may have discovered. Even Audi quietly reached out to third-party simulation specialists to verify if Ferrari's numbers were physically possible. That's how massive this leak is. Ferrari didn't lose a document. They accidentally exposed the fact that their 2026 project might be far ahead of schedule, and possibly ahead of the entire grid. The heart of the leak, and the reason it's causing sheer panic, is Ferrari's next-generation 2026 power unit. For years, Ferrari has been chasing the hybrid supremacy Red Bull Honda mastered. Their biggest weaknesses, electrical deployment, battery management, and hybrid torque, held them back. But if the leak is accurate, Ferrari may have leaped so far forward that their engine philosophy looks like it belongs in another category. According to the simulator numbers, Ferrari's new hybrid system is producing torque levels significantly higher than current expectations for 2026. Engineers outside the team who examined the leak said the torque delivery curve looks unnatural, almost too aggressive for early testing. This suggests Ferrari has improved MGUK efficiency to a shocking degree, allowing the car to unleash electric power spikes far earlier and far harder than expected. These spikes reportedly caused tire traction issues in simulation, meaning the car was overwhelming its virtual grip, a problem Ferrari has not had since 2018. But the torque is just the beginning. The leaked data indicates that Ferrari's hybrid deployment duration is longer than any projected numbers from Red Bull, Honda, Ford, or Mercedes. In simple terms, Ferrari's electric boost lasts longer per lap. That alone could be a game changer in 2026, especially when fuel usage and engine power are limited. Ferrari's energy recovery system appears to be recovering more power under braking, while also maintaining stable battery temperature, something extremely difficult to achieve. The leak mentions that Ferrari is experimenting with a cooling solution rumored to be liquid-based, allowing the battery to run at full output for longer periods without overheating. Perhaps the most shocking part of the leak is the acceleration curve comparison. Ferrari's projected 0 to 290 kilometers per hour acceleration was reportedly better than Red Bull's independent 2026 prediction model, a model they've trusted since 2023. For Ferrari to outperform Red Bull's hypothetical simulation is unheard of. It suggests Ferrari found something in the power delivery architecture that other teams did not expect. Fuel efficiency was another surprise. Ferrari's projected efficiency gain was far higher than what they achieved from 2014 to 2023. One insider said the gain was like jumping 3 development cycles ahead. In every category, torque, deployment length, battery cooling, fuel efficiency, Ferrari's leaked numbers point to a team that refuses to be the slow starter of new regulations again. After painful resets in 2014 and 2022, Ferrari is positioning itself not to adapt, but to lead. If their engine is anywhere near as competitive as the leak suggests, Ferrari will enter 2026 with the strongest power unit they've had since the Schumacher era. Ferrari reportedly believes that the 2026 era won't be won by mechanical grip. It will be won by cars that exploit electric boost with maximum aero efficiency. In other words, the faster you are in a straight line, the more you can control deployment, and the harder you make it for others to defend. If this aero concept works in real life the way it works in the simulator, Ferrari won't just be competitive, they will be dangerous. And for the first time in a long time, Ferrari looks ready to lead a new era instead of chasing one. One of the strongest indicators that the leak is real didn't come from engineers or insiders. It came from Ferrari's own drivers. Their body language, interviews, and subtle reactions tell a story that is far more revealing than any leaked PDF or simulator screenshot. Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz have seen the early 2026 numbers. They've tested early behaviors in the simulator, they know what is coming, and their reactions could not be more different. Charles Leclerc has always been cautiously optimistic about Ferrari's future. He gives diplomatic answers, supports the team publicly, and avoids criticizing long-term development. But recently, something has changed. Leclerc's tone shifted from hopeful to confident. He started smiling more during technical briefings. His interviews contained unexpected excitement, and when asked about Ferrari's long-term project, he dropped a line that now feels like a giant clue. Things look exciting. More than you think. At the time, nobody cared. It sounded like generic Ferrari PR talk. But after the simulator leak, That comment sounds like a man hiding a secret he desperately wants to talk about. People inside Ferrari say Leclerc is genuinely happier with the 2026 development direction than he's been in years. He reportedly told friends that Ferrari finally understands my driving style needs, suggesting he sees the next regulation era as his era. Carlos Sainz, however, is the complete opposite, and that difference is incredibly suspicious. Sainz has always been blunt, analytical, and extremely open about technical development. Yet lately, every time Ferrari's future or 2026 regulations are mentioned, Sainz freezes. His answers become short, flat, and evasive. Journalists who know his usual demeanor instantly notice the shift. One even said privately, Sainz knows something, and he's not allowed to talk about it. Red Bull's reaction was the fastest and most intense. According to insiders, their engine division performed an emergency recalibration of their 2026 predictions. They compared Ferrari's leaked numbers to their own models, and the results reportedly alarmed them. Red Bull expected to dominate the early 2026 era, thanks to Honda's hybrid legacy and the superior efficiency of their current power unit architecture. But if Ferrari truly found a way to sustain longer hybrid deployment and lower drag, Red Bull may lose their greatest advantage. Multiple paddock sources say conversations behind closed doors have shifted dramatically. Red Bull engineers reportedly use the words unexpected, concerning, and uncomfortably strong. Mercedes staff allegedly admitted that Ferrari's early numbers look much better than expected. Even McLaren, who are quietly confident about their future, acknowledge that Ferrari's projected acceleration figures don't look like early-stage simulations. The most chilling statement came from a senior engineer at a rival team who reportedly said, "If these Ferrari leaks are even 60% accurate, the grid is already a year behind." That is the fear now spreading across F1. Ferrari has spent a decade failing to capitalize on regulation swings. They've stumbled, they've misread aero rules, they've hesitated, but this time they may have struck gold. And if Ferrari truly enters 2026 with the strongest power unit, the boldest aero concept, and a fully motivated Leclerc, then the next era of Formula One may be painted bright Ferrari red,